Hello everyone, this is Sanjay Palashar. Welcome back to the channel, and today we will be learning how we can read an XML file in a Mule application and how we can transfer or transform data from XML to JSON and JSON to XML. As I said in my previous tutorial as well, in my last tutorial, that transformation from XML to JSON and JSON to XML is not as straightforward as the transformation from CSV to JSON is. Reason being, there are few differences between the rules and regulations that XML and JSON follows. XML can only have one root element, however JSON does support multiple root elements. JSON work on key value pair and supports array as well. However, XML does not support array. XML has repeative elements. So these are few basic things that we'll have to take care of whenever we are thinking of transforming XML data into JSON and vice versa. So for this tutorial, we are going to prepare a demo, a Mule application, which will be reading an XML file. So I have this dummy.xml file that I have created. Employees is the root element of this particular file, and it has 5 records, and employee is the repeating element. So let's start the development of the Mule application. As we did it in our previous tutorial as well, we will be needing a file module. Of the file module, we will be using on new or updated file. Here we will give the location of the file. We want to read file from this particular location. We want to read XML file. We want this particular event to be triggered every 3 seconds. And yes, we want to delete the file, and we do not want to move the file to any other location. So these configurations should suffice the purpose. So this particular event will read that XML file from our read directory, and it will have all the 5 elements or all the 5 records. The entire payload will be part of this particular event. So now we want to transform this XML to JSON. To do that, we know we will use transform message, which uses Dataweave. Here we want to transform the entire payload. For now, we do that, and let's log this payload. Let's deploy this, and it should be reinitiated. Till the time, we can copy this XML from here, put it into the read, and our service is deployed. It is taken from here, and in our logs we should be having the JSON payload of that XML. If we see here, we have this starting curly bracket, employees as the root element, and then we have 5 employee here in the JSON format. However, this is not an array, so even if we wish to loop over the record, we will see that only one record will be published. So the payload, and let me just put one more logger here just to distinguish between different loggers. I'll save it, and I will put this dummy file to the Mule read, and after 3 seconds it will be vanished from here. And in the console, we'll see that only once the payload is triggered, because it is not an array, rather it is just a payload, a simple transformation from XML to JSON. So if we wish to have an array of all the employees, how we can do it? We will read the employees like this, and we'll use the star operator here of all the employees. So this basically will change the whole thing to an array. And now let's see, let's save it. It should be reinitialized, or it should be restarted. And now let's put the file. And now if you'll see into the console, we see that it triggered 5 times. Basically we got the entire payload, we changed the whole thing to an array of employee. You see, we have the record of employee ID, employee name, company name. For example, let's delete those loggers now. Let's write those files. So we want to write files to this write directory like we did in our previous tutorial. Here we want the name of the file, and from here I can take that employee ID. I want the employee ID to be the name of that file. Alright, so we should be having 5 JSON files here with 1 record each. I'll put the read file here. If I check right, here we have 5 JSON files with employee ID, different employee ID. Let me delete it from here. Now let's say we want XML files to be here. We want to convert this array type of JSON to XML one by one. How do we do that? So first of all, we'll save this thing to one variable. And now we want it to be of XML type. However, using this dot operator, we can traverse through XML as well. So it's not necessary, it's not mandatory for you to set this variable before transforming JSON to XML, but I just did it. Now to transform, we'll again use that Dataweave. And now if we give XML here and payload here, so this thing will not work. I'll tell you why. Let me just change this as well. So this thing will not work because the payload, the current payload, the JSON payload that we have does not have a root element. You can check it from here. We have employee ID, employee name and company name. It does not have any root element. So this sort of format is not supported in XML. So this transformation will fail unless we give it a root element. And how do we do that? So the root element we want it to have is employee. So now we want, for each record we want employee to be as the root element, and then the payload can be converted into XML. So now let's see how this works. We'll save it. It is reinitialized and started. We'll put it here, and in right we have 5 XML files, and let's open them. So you see we have employee, and this. So now you know why whenever we transform JSON to XML, we have to make sure that we are giving the correct input, or we are forming it correctly so that it adheres to all the rules that are there for a well-formed XML. I mean, if you want just to check, if we remove this, it will fail. I'll save it. I'll remove all these from here. I'll copy. I'll paste it here. And you see it actually failed. The Mule expression failed. It is looking for a root element. In the message you'll see trying to output second root. That is the reason why we must have a root element here. So let's conclude today's session, and we have successfully read an XML file, transform that to JSON, then loop over all the records and transform from JSON to XML. So this is it for today's session, guys, and you take good care of yourselves and you have a nice rest of the day. Take care. Bye bye.